You know how with every new generation of Pokemon there comes a new gimmick, like baby Pokemon or new evolutions of older Pokemon? Well, I'm kind of doing that, but the gimmick for my Faezoan familiars is a little bit darker. Hello everyone, my name is Sivana and welcome to my studio. I'm doing more Minichi stuff, so back to gimmicks. In my story for Minichi, there is a corporation called Forge Industries, and they're all about advancement and evolving with technology. So they kind of suck and took some Faezoan and forced them to evolve into something completely different and unnatural that is either machine or like a crazy cosmic being. I'm calling these Forged Faezoan or Forged Evolutions. Don't forget to give this video a like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already. We're really trying to hit that 1,000 by the end of the year. Now let's just get into the drawings. First off, these Forged Evolutions are a continuation of an already fully evolved Faezoan, or one that does not naturally evolve. So they're going to be pretty strong. I named them all after planets in the solar system because I thought it would be cool and literally for no other reason. And this first one we have here is Pyroti, a pure fire type Faezoan based on a coyote. But when Forge Industries got their hands on this creature and put it through rough experimentation, it evolved into Mercury, named after Mercury, the first planet in our solar system and the liquid metal. So Mercury is now fire and metal type. These forged or forced evolutions cannot be found in the wild and will not be available until toward the end game. Basically, after you take down this horrible corporation, their warehouses and labs become abandoned, so you can go back there. Some wild forged evolutions will be still roaming around the facility, but not many, so they have like a low encounter chance. Or, if you want, you could force one of your own Faezoan familiars to evolve using one of the only working machines left. Choose wisely, they may not like you very much afterward. I decided on a coyote mostly because I wanted to do all of the animals that Texas and Michigan have in common. Though Texas probably has more coyotes, I'm not really sure. I just always saw coyotes as being like desert animals, probably from watching Looney Tunes, and it just felt right to make it a fire type. Also, I needed more fire in this cold region of Michigan. I know it doesn't really look like a coyote, and it kind of just looks like a dog or a wolf, but you know what? Whatever. That's what it's based on, it doesn't have to look like the exact thing. Mercury was really fun to play around with. I wanted these forged evolutions to be kinda crazy and outside of what Pokemon would allow as designs, probably, since this was a Fakemon project at first. It let me experiment and make crazy diversions from what you would expect these Faezoan to actually evolve into, but I also wanted them to look plausible. Like, yeah, I can see how this came from that, you know? For Mercury's design, I basically wanted Pyroti but bigger, fluffier, and more menacing. I also like fire types that don't have like a literal flame on them, so that's what I did with Pyroti. And Mercury is essentially a furnace encased in metal coating that is its body. The fluff on its chest and its tail become much bigger and are almost like flames themselves, but they are still fur and very soft and fluffy. And the fire that comes out of the top of its head can grow and expand as it uses attacks. It's like a flamethrower robot wolf or something, and I really wanted to showcase how the fire is being held within those glass windows on its legs. And for the little red bits on Pyroti's legs, I wanted them to kind of look like cowboy boots, because Texas, and it's cute and I like it. And then as you'll see later in the shiny, Pyroti becomes more brown-toned to look more like an actual coyote, and then Mercury becomes blue and black and white, because blue, black, and white is cool, and blue fire is almost the law for fire shinies. It's not really, but I like it. It's cool. Next up, we have some jellyfish. And you may be thinking, but how would there be jellyfish in Michigan? Well, there are, apparently. They're called peach blossom jellyfish, or Craspeducosta sowerby. They are also very small, and are not native to Michigan, but they now live in our lakes and stuff, so there you have it. There are also various jellyfish that wash up on the shores of Galveston Island down in Texas, and they are much bigger. I've seen Portuguese man-of-war, moon jellyfish, and comb jellyfish to name a few that drift along the Gulf. And let me tell you, they look very alien when they're not in the water. They kind of also look alien when they're in the water, but when they're washed up, it's like really weird. And moon jellyfish are huge. They're like as big as my torso. Or at least, I've seen one as big as my torso. So yeah, these guys are based on all of those. We have Jellyby, a little baby jelly with his big old hat. Jellyby evolves normally into Sowerzoe, who is just this dapper little lady or lad, with their tentacles acting like arms, hair, and legs all at once. These are of course water and electric type, because it's the law. I know Pokemon has some jellyfish that are not electric type, and they're criminals. Anyway, so I gave them these little plus signs to show like a positive electrical charge. And some parts of their body, like their hats, will glow, as you'll see in the final coloring. When a Sowerzoe is forced to evolve, it can go one of two ways depending on its gender. Female Sowerzoe transform into a fire and electric type Venusaur, based off the planet and goddess Venus. The water has been stripped and is now just a fiery storm jellyfish, which is really heckin' cool. The planet Venus also has crazy hot electrical storms, like constantly, because of how close it is to the sun. On the other side, a male Silverzoe will evolve into Marzoe, a water and land type named after the planet and god Mars. It just felt so perfect to have a split gender evolution based on Venus and Mars because of how close they are in the solar system. I know Earth is like in the middle of them, but I'm not having an Earth forged evolution. It's gonna be like its own kind of thing, and we'll get to that in another video somewhere down the line. Marzoe now loses the electric typing for more defense and solidity in the dirt and soil. Mars is rocky and dry and is basically a big ball of dirt, but there could have been water on it at some point, maybe. Whatever, I'm going with it. I really like the theory and or possible confirmation that there was water on Mars. I don't know for sure. I don't know if anybody knows for sure, but I like it, so that's what we're doing. And the theme is hats. They all have hats. But Marzoe's is more like a helmet or like a scuba diver's gear or a astronaut's helmet. It's still technically a hat. If these were found in the wild, Venuzoe would definitely be floating around volcanoes or swimming in lava. Marzoe, I imagine, would sit on the floor of a lake and burrow itself until only its head is visible. Venuzoe is built for speed and attack. Marzoe is built for all kinds of defense. It has a mud shell and a bubble of water on top to keep it safe from harm. It's like the energetic mom and sturdy dad. I also wanted Marzoe's mud shell to kind of look like a mustache when you're looking at it head on. I literally have no idea what happened to all of the rendering footage, but that's fine. Here they are. For our last evolution line of this video, we have some weird little birds. It started out as a strange fusion between Aegislash and Rufflet, and then Aegislash and Haunter, and I just thought a Cyclops owl looked really cool, so I made 3 of them. The first one we have here is Spirilet, named after Spirit and Owlet, a baby owl. They were originally going to be ghost or spirit type, but after redesigning them, they didn't look like spirits, but instead they looked like those who commune with spirits, psychics, mediums, fortune tellers, and whatever. So they are now wind and cosmic type, because just look at that eye. That's a cosmic owl if I've ever seen one. Spirilet evolves into Geistrix, which is a mix of Geist, a type of ghost like Poltergeist, and Strix, which is a genus of bird that is the owl. However, when forced to evolve, the cosmic power of Geistrix becomes too much and it dies, but it does not exactly perish. The cosmic giant Jupistrix is now electric and spirit type. I think it's really cool when Pokemon evolve and lose a type instead of gaining one, like how Azurill used to be just normal and then it evolved into a water type that is Marill, and I just think that's neat. Pokemon doesn't do that often, so I wanted to. The energy in the machine overloaded and empowered Geistrix spirit with storm-like energy, making it massive and terrifying. So yeah, it's based off Jupiter. It just felt like a missed opportunity to not turn their single eye into the red storm on Jupiter. The rest of the colors are a bit more ghostly and less like the planet, but I wanted its magical wispy collar to turn into a storm that is like cloaked around its wings, enabling it to have constant flight. The storm is ever raging with electrical energy, and the only thing keeping it at bay is the willpower of the spirit trapped inside this gas giant. The shiny will reflect more of Jupiter's colors, but I love this thing. I wanted to make a scary owl monster, and I feel like it's not scary enough, but it's huge, and here's the scaling. I also just really like these wispy doos, and the fact that this storm cloud is like a cool coat or vest coat is rad. It also uses a lot of physical electrical attacks with those talons. The design process behind each of these was very fun, trying to figure out how to make this either cute or mundane thing into a crazy powerhouse of a creature. And even though these were forced evolutions, the scientists at Forge Industries didn't have much to do with how they turned out. They basically wanted to draw out the Faezoan's evolutionary potential in whatever means necessary. So some they set on fire, some they froze, some they accidentally killed, and some were injected with metal, kind of like Wolverine. That is to say, Forge Industries didn't know what they were going to get, and it ultimately led to their downfall as they could not control these unnatural creatures. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this first batch of the Forged Evolutions. The second batch will come sometime in the future. I won't say next time, but I am really excited to share them with you. I just couldn't do them all in one video because it would have been like an hour, and my voice is really bad from being sick. But yeah, please subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't already. It really means a lot to me. And as always, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.